Honestly, everything just reminds me of Eagle Rock, because that's where I wrote everything, and that's like where I live. No, the cat. First show together as Best Coast was here in Echo Park at a place called Echo Curio, and it was just Bob and I. We used to play to like a backing track, and surprisingly there were a lot of people there.
Yeah.
The first time we practiced with Ali though was downtown, which is over here, like around
Right
this
there.
area. First practice.
Yeah.
The scariest area ever.
I can put where we were born.
Oh yeah, we were born at a hospital.
In Glendale?
Yeah. Is the hospital actually on there? Because it'd be funny. Bob and I were born in the same hospital, several years apart.
Oh, I don't see it.
Well, there's Glendale, so just
Born. BC is born.
yeah, born here. There's a record store I think everyone knows of called Amoeba, which is in Hollywood, which is sort of where I grew up, like buying records. And when it opened, I remember when the day it opened, my friend and I took a bus to it, and then we went to Hot Topic, which is like in the mall near it. It's like over here.
Sunset.
And then there's like another record store in Echo Park that's next door to a venue called the Echo that we play at a lot called Origami, that they, what?
We haven't played there.
No, next door to a venue we
Oh,
play a lot. Called Origami. I don't know where. It's basically over here too.
There's one in the valley called Freak Beat, the valley.
Well, here's Glendale and Brewing.
Oh, Reseda, like kind of like somewhere in this area. Sherman Way.
Van Nuys.
Yeah, it's by Van Nuys, basically.
This map makes LA look so much less confusing than it is to me in real life. It seems so much smaller.
No, I found the bunny suit. I went on vacation in Japan, and it was like right before I went to the airport. I went to this mall store called Tokyo Hands, and it's like first floor is like home improvement stuff and then electronics, and then on the third floor it was all like toys and costumes. And I saw the suit, and they had a couple different colors, but I bought the white one, and I didn't even know if it would fit me, but I was like, well, I know that head will fit me at least. I'm not really comfortable like performing solo, so once I started wearing that, it made it easier because I felt like people were looking at me.
Get that head
Yeah.
back to America.
I had to buy a special, the bag that we carry the drum hardware in, like a bag that big. I
For
had
the
to
head?
buy to fit the costume and all the other toys and records.
Yeah, I needed extra luggage when we left Japan because there was too much good stuff.
And when I went to the airport with it, the Japanese like customs ladies, they pulled it out and like, oh, is this for your baby? And I was like, no, it's for me. And they just started laughing in my face.
For your baby. It's different. It's way different. And it's the only frame of reference for being in a touring band that I have is Vivian Girls, so it's always like I'm relearning about touring every day. I don't know. It's fun. It's different. I think it's more like
We just make lots of jokes.
yeah. Vivian Girls had a mission. Very, I don't know.
Our mission is
very intense about what
Our
we're
mission is
doing.
play and go to sleep.
Yeah.
In one is
Chill
definitely our
dogs.
motto.
Yeah, in one.
We're all kind of like, one of us is me. I'm always irritated and stressed out and tired, and we're all sort of like that. Like every day somebody's in a bad mood, and like but I feel like the thing that's really good about us is that we all know. So like if he's in a bad mood, Ali and I are just like, okay, go away, we won't talk to you.
Drink some Jimmy.
Yeah, go drink some whiskey. And then, I don't know, we also I think have a good way at like kind of laughing when like things go wrong. For like 15 minutes we're like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And then like after those 15 minutes we're just like, this is just ridiculous. Yeah. There's a guitar center in Pasadena that I go to because the one in Hollywood is filled with aspiring musicians,
It's a
which
nightmare.
makes me have a panic attack because it's just people playing like freebird, like guitar solos
And
the whole
flat
time.
bass.
Yeah. So I go to that Pasadena one because it's a lot more chill and smaller, and they always have really good like old guitars and stuff. And then there's another place in Highland Park that we both go to get like guitars fixed and stuff, called Future Music, which is like Highland Park. It's like somewhere like around here. I actually got my Dan Electro, my dad gave that to me as a present, and then I have a new guitar that I use, which is a Fender Mustang that I got in Portland, Oregon.
Then there's a store in Santa Monica called True Tone Music, and I buy pretty much all the pedals we use from that store.
When I wrote that song, I was like thinking a lot about like how when Jesus and Mary Chain do ballads and how they're sort of like, well, true, born here, we just died. I was thinking of sort of more like darker, kind of like almost even thinking of bands like Bauhaus and sort of like more like gothy bands that do like ballads. That's what I was sort of thinking when I wrote that song. And then a lot of people have like said that I have like a Courtney Love vibe in that song, which I didn't think, but that's really cool because I like Courtney Love. But your guitar is kind of what makes that song really dark, I think.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. Like, I just listened to the song, and that was one of the first things I played. Same with the drum part. I sat down and I turned the snare off on the snare drum, and as soon as I started playing, the producer was like, "Yeah, that's awesome. Like, that's what you should do on the song." So.
I just think that like when we did the record, it was like we were in a studio and we had like a producer and we had access to all of these really like expensive like musical instruments and like good microphones and like a literal like, you know, studio as opposed to recording in Bob's room. I thought, okay, why not? Why go in and like pay a bunch of money to record a record and then just make it sound like you recorded it at home? So that's why we chose to do it that way. But also, I think as time went on, like I started realizing that I wanted to get away from that lo-fi like sound that kind of everybody else is doing, and I sort of wanted to make the music more like pop focused and not so much like fuzzy sort of, you know, whatever lo-fi kind of vibe is happening in music right now. I kind of wanted to just focus on it being more like sort of Phil Spector sounding.
On all the early stuff, there's reverb on everything. It's just like a really dark reverb, and on the record, it's
Cleaner.
Yeah, it's clean and not necessarily on everything, so there's more definition. It's not as fuzzy sounding.
I'm trying to stop writing about boys as much. I'm starting to try and write about other stuff, mostly about, you know, California, and sort of just trying to, I just like to write really straightforward, simple songs.